Welcome to Timeless Mysteries. I know there's nobody here yet, but I do have a plan for today. I want to do some trivia. Let's see. Hope my mic is working well. Seems to be. Yeah, you'll have to kind of ignore the background there. So today is July 25th. It is about 7:15 here in Alaska. And I do have some stuff to talk about today. If you like true crime, I've come up with several fun to ask questions like, in which city did Jack the Ripper commit his murders? Was it A, Paris, B, London, C, New York, or D, Berlin? Well, anybody know the answer? So I'm trying to live stream through my laptop today. I have had some issues with that. Hey, James, I'm from North Carolina. I'm in Alaska. Yeah, you are the first one here. But I do have a plan for today's content. I want to talk about like true crime, and I've kind of come up with a bunch of like fun trivia stuff. I mean, it's not, I guess, too fun. We are talking about real life murders here. But for example, how many victims did Jeffrey Dahmer have? Do you know the answer? Is it A, 15, B, 17, C, 19, or D, 21? Have your wife join this. She might know some of these answers. In case you're wondering, though, Jeffrey Dahmer had 17 victims. That's a lot of people. I don't know if you checked out the TV series on Netflix, but I couldn't get through the first episode. It was just way too disturbing. And, I could also talk about some other interesting true crime stuff, like the mysterious death of Eliza Lamb. She was a 21-year-old Canadian student whose death in 2013 got international attention because of the bizarre circumstances. She was found dead in a water tank. And it was the Cecil Hotel in Los Angeles, California. And the weird thing was that because her body was in the water supply, she ended up transmitting like tuberculosis or something to everyone who used the hotel. Let's see. So Eliza Lamb was a student at the University of British Columbia in Vancouver. She went on a road trip to California, and she wanted to go on an adventure, and she had been staying at the Cecil Hotel in downtown Los Angeles. It's not cheating. If she wants to, let's see. Let me ask another trivia question. See if you can get this one. Okay. Let me get back to it. Let's see. I'm going to try to find something that's not too hard. So, what weapon was used in the murders of Lizzie Borden? What weapons was used in the murders that Lizzie Borden was accused of? Rather, was it A, a gun, B, a knife, C, an axe, or D, poison? Yeah, well, it's an axe, but a small axe is a hatchet. So yeah, that's definitely it. Let's see. Do you know who the BTK killer is? What does BTK stand for? Is it A, break, tear, kill, C, beat, thrash, kill, D, burn, torture, kill, or A, bind, torture, and kill? Well, Dennis Rader is known as the BTK killer, and BTK stands for bind, torture, and kill. He was arrested in 2005 and he confessed to killing 10 people in Kansas. But that's not to say that he didn't kill more people. His daughter was shocked that he was a killer. Um, and if I remember right, I think he was some kind of, he might have been the one that was like he worked for ADP, like a secure home security system, I think, or something. But he would bind, torture for hours sometimes, and then kill. So it's kind of it's pretty sick. But he is one of the usually everybody knows who the BTK killer is. Let's see. Here's another one you might know. In what year did the Manson family murders occur? Was it A, 1967, B, 1968, C, 1969, or D, 1970? The Manson family murders occurred in 1969, and it included the brutal killing of the actress Sharon Tate. Let me see it. Nope, 1969. Close, though. Let's see. Well, this one's kind of interesting, and you might not have heard this before. So, it in 1982, 7 people died in Chicago after taking Tylenol capsules that were laced with cyanide, and they're known as the Tylenol murders. And that case in particular led to the introduction of tamper-proof packaging. So if you wonder why it's so hard to open up a bottle of Tylenol, you can look up the Tylenol murders, and you can see why. Let's see. Do you know who the Menendez brothers are? The Menendez brothers are Lyle and Eric Menendez. And let's see, what year were the Menendez brothers convicted? It's partially child-proofing too. I'm sure that's part of it. But I'm guessing before 1982, um, they didn't have any type of tamper-proof packaging. So, when you go to the store and you see something that's got that little plastic seal around the edge, not just like the cap that doesn't come off, um, but you can see if it's been opened or not before you buy it. Um, that there's like a little plastic piece that goes around the lid that holds the lid on, and if it's off, then somebody's opened it. Um, let's see. Oh yeah, the Menendez brothers killed their parents in what year? Or they were convicted of killing their parents in what year? They murdered their parents in 1989. They were actually convicted in 1996. And if you're as old as I am, you remembered that being on TV. It was a pretty big deal. But yeah, if you want something that's like that's got true crime plus a little bit of conspiracy theory to go with it, you should look up Eliza Lamb. That was the 21-year-old Canadian student I was talking about earlier. Oh, nice. So that you're not that young, but you're not old yet. Yeah. So if you look up Eliza Lamb, you can find a whole bunch of stuff. The thing was, she was found in the water tank at a hotel, but the lid to the water tank was closed. So if she fell in, why would the lid be closed? And if somebody did murder her, why would they? Why did they murder her? There was an autopsy report that got actually released about 10 years ago, and the cause of death is listed as accidental drowning, with bipolar disorder being a significant factor. There was no signs of physical trauma or evidence of sexual assault. There was no drugs or alcohol in her system. Actually, the toxicology test came back incomplete because the body was already decomposing. But it showed some traces of some prescription medications and a small amount of alcohol. But there was no recreational drugs. But it got a lot of attention, and partly due to the eerie elevator video and the hotel's dark history. There was another killer that used to go to this hotel. Yes, I think any kind of mental health issues that you can control with medications, shouldn't be an issue. I don't think bipolar would cause somebody to jump into a water tank and close the lid so they can't get out and let themselves drown. It just doesn't make sense to me. But there's a lot of people that claim it was some ghost that drowned her. Some people believe she was murdered. I am one of the people that think she got murdered. I don't know why, though. But there's an elevator video that showed her attempting to escape some kind of attacker. Like, you could see her run the elevator, but you can't see who the attacker was. Others speculate that Eliza had experienced some kind of psychotic episode. She had some kind of psychotic break and was hallucinating. But if it was hallucination, then there's a possibility that maybe it was some kind of spiritual entity, messing with her mind. But I'm thinking about making a video on this topic just because there's so much to it. And I mean, I'm just kind of touching on what happened. But the Cecil Hotel itself opened in 1929, and it was the site of numerous suicides and murders and other unexplained deaths. It was also rumored to have housed several serial killers like Richard Ramirez, also known as the Night Stalker. And I don't know who Jack Underweger is, but he was supposedly also stayed at that hotel. Let me see if I can Google that. He is an Austrian serial killer who committed murder in several countries, including West Germany, Austria, Czechoslovakia, and the United States. Let's see if I can. Law enforcement discovered that he'd killed a young woman in Czechoslovakia, in addition to 7 other young women in Austria. And I'm trying to see if there's any in the U.S., but it doesn't. This Wikipedia page doesn't tell me. Let's see. Can I show my screen here? Yeah, here's a Wikipedia page. But yeah, but his first in 1974, and it's also interesting that it's by strangling, because I don't think that's a very common way for somebody to murder someone. But I'm trying to get a total number of people who murdered. 10 counts of murder. He was convicted of 10 counts of murder. But, yeah. Yeah, I guess that's true. If you strangle somebody, there's definitely going to be bruising around the neck, probably a handprint. But let me just Google. I'm just curious. I don't think strangulation is mutilation, convicted, murder. Let me see. I don't know exactly how many murders. Strangulation. And there's not going to be an easy answer for that. I'm going to have to research this. Here we go. So this is just in several years spans, but strangulation. So, there's actually more than I would have thought, but compared to, fire gun, guns, handguns seem to be number 1, rifles are number 2, and then shotguns is it's a big difference. And then knives, I guess. So guns, then knives, and then, that's not strangulation, but it is by your hands, feet, or fists. So that would be by some kind of physical fighting. But explosives is not very much. But um, drowning is pretty common. But yeah, strangulation is not a. I don't think it would be an easy way to do that. But as far as murders go and true crime goes, this is a pretty good list. I wonder if there's another list from 2024. Let me see. Homicide data table. Homicide data table 2024. Crime statistics from. Yeah, this is not. That was clickbait. The CDC website. I might do it. So, wow, that's a very high number of homicides. And, compared the number of deaths to the number of deaths by firearms, and that's huge. Like, that takes care of almost all of them. Death by car. Nah. Yeah. If I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, my number one way of getting rid of somebody is definitely by running them over. But that's usually because I can't go around. So let's see what other trivia do I got here. In which city was Tupac Shakur killed? Was it Los Angeles, New York, Miami, or Las Vegas? Let's see. So it was Las Vegas. Yep. Yeah, you got it. But yeah, I'm doing this live today, but I haven't done too many of them yet. So I'm trying to figure out how to do it. I've got this like tripod thing for my cell phone camera, but it won't connect to my computer for some reason. So I'm just trying to figure out how to do everything. But if you like true crime, I've got a couple of good videos on my channel that I recommend you check out. I've got some other kind of mysterious like stuff on there too, like things like Atlantis and aliens. But I've been having some pretty good luck doing true crime stuff. So I've made a couple of videos about Chris Watts, who murdered his family. And I'm currently making a couple more of those. I decided to make them shorter videos rather than one long video because people seem to only watch like short periods of time anyway. So I did one video on Chris Watts that gave you kind of the basic what's going on, what happened, and then I've just posted a video on his mistress, who was technically, according to the police, not involved, but there's a lot of speculation on if she was there or not, if she had any part in it, and um, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things that go on with that story. There's a lot of things that people like to talk about, and it's mostly because it was a married man who got involved with somebody else, and then he killed his family. And even when he tells people why he did it, you know, he says this or that, but nobody believes it. It's not the real reason. A lot of people don't even know that if he did it or not, which is kind of weird because he got convicted of it and he pled guilty to it. Um, he confessed pretty early on. Um, but his girlfriend, Nicole Kessinger, she acted really, really weird. When she was talking to the police, she was really calm. She was relaxed. She was, acting like it was no big deal. There was no emotion on her face. She wasn't scared. She wasn't worried or anything. And I think um, that alone makes it easy to speculate that she had something to do with it. There was a phone call that lasted 111 minutes that was made the night before the murders. Well, actually, the night of, technically. It was around 11 p.m. And then his wife got home from the airport at 1 a.m. that night. And then they were dead by 2 a.m. So her cell phone also pinged at the location. She said she wasn't there. She said she didn't see anything. Um, but there's a lot of things that don't add up on that case. And that's why I like to talk about it. And that's why I make videos on it. A couple other um, friends of mine who do YouTube channels, they also uh, like to discuss that case. He's been in jail, and I guess he's going bald and getting fat, and he never comes out of his cell because people want to kill him for murdering his children. Um, he's got a pretty miserable life when he tries to, um, you know, tell people that he's found God again, and he's trying to make up for what he did. But I don't know that you actually can. um, I remember the first time that I read about that Chris Watts guy and how he murdered his family. It was just, I have kids, and it kind of just like it really got to me. Um, Writing about it's even harder sometimes. You have to take a break. Um, I don't know. It's hard to talk about something real and not let it affect you. Um, but I try to. um, let's see. I'm trying to find a question for like something recent. Oh, here's one that everyone on the planet should know, because the Beatles are pretty popular still, even after so many years. But who assassinated John Lennon? Well, was it A, Charles Manson, B, Mark David Chapman, C, David Bertowski, or D, James Earl Ray? Okay, is it A, Charles Manson, B, Mark David Chapman, C, David Berkowitz, or D, James Earl Ray? Hmm. B. That would be correct. Mark David Chapman. Let me see what happened to Mark David Chapman. Mark David Chapman was born in May of 1955, and he murdered John Lennon. And let's see, he has a spouse. He's incarcerated currently at Greenhaven Correctional Facility, and that appears to be in New York. Let's see. He allegedly started planning to kill Lennon 3 months prior to the murder. He was a longtime fan of the Beatles, but he turned against Lennon due to religious conversion. And Lennon's highly publicized 1966 remark about the Beatles being more popular than Jesus is what triggered it. That is insane. Some members of Chapman's prayer group make it a joke in reference to John Lennon's song Imagine. It went, imagine if John Lennon was dead. That it is just, I don't know how people can go from being normal to crossing lines like that and murdering somebody. It's kind of, the other day I went to an air show and I was thinking, man, these pilots must have something in their brain that doesn't turn on, that triggers fear like it does for most people, because they can go, fly at 1,000 miles an hour and be within 18 inches of each other, going head on and, not panic and crash. Over the years, this guy has both supported and denied whether he felt justified by his spiritual beliefs. So he probably just went insane. And this is interesting here. It's rumored that Chapman traveled to Woodstock, New York during one of his visits to the state in search of the musician Todd Rundgren, another target of obsession. Chapman was wearing a promotional T-shirt for Rundgren's album Hermit of Meat and Hollow. I don't know if I ever heard any songs by this guy. But it just blows my mind that people can start thinking like this and somehow rationalize it in their head and find that it's okay to do it. When you spend months planning a murder, that in of itself is not sane. Most sane people would not be doing that. It's one thing to talk about, saying, hey, I'm going to kill you or something, but, there's a whole nother step involved that puts you over the line after you say it. First you think it, then you say it, and then, if you keep going, then you do it. Oh, that's fine. I have 2 kids myself, but they're much older. But they were a lot of fun when they were growing up. They're 7, 6 and 7 now, but I remember when they were tiny, and it was scary and lots of fun too. But anyways, I think this is going to be it for my live stream today anyway. So I do encourage you to come check out my channel, check out my other videos, and make sure and subscribe and like the video, so that YouTube knows that people are watching me, and maybe they'll broadcast my stuff out to other people also. So I'm trying to get trying to grow my channel and everything. So well, anyways, good luck with your child there, and I hope to see you on my next live. So thanks for joining me, Timeless Mysteries, and be sure to check out my videos.